Two people start their careers at the same time. Both are in their early 30s. Both earn similar incomes. Both work hard, get promotions, and live what appears to be a completely normal life. From the outside, there's nothing that clearly separates them. But 15 years later, their financial reality tells a completely different story. One of them has built assets, investments, and multiple income streams. They feel financially stable, even calm about the future. The other is still living paycheck to paycheck, constantly adjusting their lifestyle to match their expenses, wondering why progress feels so slow despite earning well. The surprising part is this. The second person didn't make one big mistake. There was no single bad decision that destroyed their wealth. Instead, it was a slow, invisible pattern that most people follow without even noticing. A pattern that feels completely normal. And that pattern is what quietly destroys wealth in your 30s. It's not a lack of income. It's not bad luck. It's something far more subtle. In your 30s, as your income increases, your lifestyle naturally begins to expand with it. A better apartment, a newer car, more frequent dining out, upgraded subscriptions, better vacations. These decisions feel justified because you're earning more, and on the surface, that seems reasonable. But what's happening underneath is something most people never track. Every increase in lifestyle creates a permanent increase in your baseline expenses. And once that baseline rises, it becomes very difficult to reverse. This is where the real problem begins. Because as your income grows, instead of directing that extra money toward building assets, a large portion of it gets absorbed into maintaining a more expensive lifestyle. So while your income is going up, your ability to save and invest often stays the same. Or sometimes, it barely improves at all. This creates a hidden imbalance. You feel like you're progressing because your life is improving. But financially, you may not be moving forward as much as you think. The key idea here is simple but powerful. Wealth is not just about how much you earn. It's about how much of your income you allow to accumulate and grow over time. When money is spent, it disappears. When money is invested, it begins to work for you. At first, the difference may not seem significant. Saving a few $100s or investing a small amount doesn't feel like it will change much. But over time, the impact becomes exponential. This is where compounding comes in. Compounding means your money generates returns, and those returns begin generating their own returns. In the early stages, growth feels slow. That's why many people underestimate it. But given enough time, the curve starts to accelerate. The challenge is that in your 30s, life naturally introduces competing priorities. Responsibilities increase. Social expectations grow. There's pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle, especially when you see others around you upgrading their own lives. This creates a psychological shift. Instead of asking, "How much can I invest this year?" many people begin asking, "How much can I afford to spend without feeling uncomfortable?" And that subtle shift changes everything. Because wealth building requires a different mindset than lifestyle maintenance. One focuses on accumulation. The other focuses on consumption. Now consider a simple example. Imagine two individuals with similar incomes. One of them decides to upgrade their lifestyle every time their income increases. Each raise leads to a new expense. A better car, a more expensive home, more convenience, more comfort. The other person takes a different approach. They allow their income to increase, but they keep their lifestyle relatively stable for a longer period. Instead of upgrading immediately, they redirect the additional income toward consistent investing. Both individuals enjoy their lives, but their financial paths diverge over time. The first person continues to work in order to maintain their lifestyle. Their expenses grow alongside their income, which means their financial freedom remains limited. The second person gradually builds a portfolio of assets. Over time, those assets begin to generate income of their own. Eventually, the second person is not relying entirely on active income to sustain their life. The difference wasn't talent. It wasn't intelligence. It wasn't even opportunity. It was how they handled increasing income. This is why your 30s are such a critical phase. It's the period where income often rises, but financial habits become fixed. And the habits you build during this time tend to shape your long-term financial outcome more than any other stage of life. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting too long to take investing seriously. There's often a belief that things need to feel more stable before committing to long-term financial planning. But in reality, waiting reduces the most powerful advantage you have, time. Time is what allows compounding to work. When you delay investing, you're not just postponing action. You're shortening the window during which your money could have been growing. Even a delay of a few years can have a noticeable impact over decades. Another important factor is how decisions are made. Many financial choices are not purely logical. They are emotional. Spending provides immediate satisfaction. Investing requires patience. When faced with the option of enjoying money today versus allocating it for a future benefit, the present often wins. This is completely human. But it's also why so many people struggle to build wealth despite understanding basic financial principles. There's also the influence of comparison. As people in your social circle begin to upgrade their lives, it becomes easy to feel that your own progress should match theirs. Without realizing it, financial decisions start to be influenced by perception rather than necessity. This leads to spending patterns that are not aligned with long-term goals. Over time, these patterns accumulate, not in a dramatic way, but in small, repeated decisions that slowly shape your financial trajectory. So what can actually be done about this? The first shift is awareness. Understanding that lifestyle inflation is not inherently bad, but uncontrolled lifestyle inflation can limit your ability to build wealth. The goal is not to avoid spending entirely. The goal is to be intentional with it. One practical approach is to maintain your current lifestyle for a period of time even after your income increases. Instead of immediately upgrading, you allow the extra income to be directed towards savings and investments first. Another useful habit is automation. When investing becomes automatic, it removes the need for constant decision-making. Money is allocated before it can be spent. This reduces the influence of emotions and increases consistency. Setting a fixed savings or investment percentage of your income can also help create structure. As your income grows, that percentage can remain the same or even increase, allowing your wealth-building capacity to scale over time. Tracking expenses is another simple but powerful tool. When you understand where your money is going, you gain clarity. And with clarity comes better decisions. But beyond all the strategies, the deeper issue is psychological. Most people are not held back by lack of knowledge. They are held back by behavior. The desire for comfort, the influence of social comparison, and the pull of instant gratification all compete against long-term thinking. And in many cases, short-term comfort wins repeatedly. This is why wealth building is not just a financial process. It is a behavioral one. Now imagine two possible futures. In one, you continue to upgrade your lifestyle each time your income increases. You maintain a comfortable standard of living, but your financial independence remains limited. Your income is the primary source that sustains your life. In the other, you make a conscious effort to control lifestyle inflation. You invest consistently. You prioritize asset building over unnecessary upgrades. Over time, your investments begin to grow. Your financial foundation strengthens. Your reliance on active income gradually decreases. One path leads to constant effort without financial freedom. The other leads to increasing flexibility and long-term stability. The difference between these outcomes is not determined overnight. It is determined by small decisions made consistently over time. And your 30s are often the stage where those decisions begin to matter the most. Because this is where income is high enough to build wealth, but also where expenses can quietly rise and consume that opportunity if left unchecked. So the real question is not how much you earn. The real question is how much of what you earn actually stays and grows. Because in the long run, it's not just about making money. It's about what your money becomes over time.